This is the worst meat of my life. Peep this.
It's equipped, right? This guy's going right before me, and that happens.
Pretty sick.
Dave Johnson opening at 6:39. Member of the Army. Squad. That's a 6:39 Raw.
Ended up leaving it there because I did not feel good. My back did not feel great after that squat, and I figured there's no reason to push it. Just kidding, I forgot. I actually ended up loading 300 kilos or 661 and just felt something weird, and that's when I called it. Scratched my third. I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to risk it, especially not with the way my back was feeling for that competition. I ended up getting that lift, and that was 407, even though, like, watching it over, it does look like I jumped the command. Still managed to hit a PR. That was 407. Yeah, pretty happy with that.
Just a little short of it's just a summer thing. But you made it just a little short. Give it up for Peyton Johnson.
So, as you can see there, I tried that shit 3 times, and each time my hips, I could not, like, contract my glutes. And I think it came from just not being able to properly deadlift or squat for probably a month leading up to this competition, and just something neurologically, I think my body didn't feel safe at lockout, which can cause that shakiness. So just super disappointing. I tried it 3 times and just couldn't get it. Warm-ups felt okay. I felt a little shaky on my last warm-up. My last warm-up was 705, which is usually no issue, but there was just like a little shakiness at the top, but not like it was with those. But I think the increase in load, just my body did not feel safe with it. So super disappointing. Hard lesson learned. I definitely could have dropped my opener, and that would have been the smart move to make, especially after the way that my last warm-up felt. Like, that should have been the sign for me to just lower it. But live and you learn, I guess. I was highly disappointed after that meet. Just super disappointed. And I will never do that again. Like, I refuse. I refuse to let that happen again. So stay tuned for November. It will be much better, and I have a feeling that I have a PR total coming, so stay tuned. Oh my god, is that the man, the myth, the washed Unk? Yes, it's me. I'm back. Gonna try to film a little bit now. I've kind of let things settle down. Had a lot of life stuff going on. I'll get more into that later, but I got squats today, and I got some big news. So stay tuned. There will be a big reveal at the end. Just kidding. It's not like crazy, but it is exactly what I said that I was gonna do, like a long time ago. But I finally did it now. Alright, this is going to be our final warm-up for today. I've got 270 on kg or 595 pounds. Been feeling pretty decent on squats. Definitely been increasing the volume that I've been doing on squats, and I'll get more into that later. But we're warming up for a double here, and something that moves pretty well. So not like maximum effort, but just something that's solid. So I think this will be a good last warm up, and then I'll probably jump up just a little bit, and then that'll be my double weight. Alright, I bumped it up to 280 kilos or 617 pounds, and this is where I think I'm going to have my double for today. Should be something that isn't like super hard, but moves pretty well. So I think this should be a good weight for what I'm doing. Alright, 280 moved pretty well, honestly. Didn't feel too much breakdown on it. Feeling pretty good on squats, especially like my upper back, definitely since adding more volume, feels super stable. And I think that's really a big contributing factor into my squat. The more stable you can feel, the safer your body feels, the more you're really going to be able to push it. So strengthening everything else besides your legs can actually help as well. But that's going to be the exciting lift for today. Now it's dropped down to 242 and a half, or what is that in pounds? It's like 535 or somewhere around there, 540, somewhere around that range. But now I'm going to hit this for 4. And shouldn't really be a struggle, but this is going to help get that pattern really drilled into my head of, not struggling at my midpoint and dropping it. What's up? So, big reveals and stuff that's been going on in my life is, well, to start it off, I literally took notes here so that I could remember everything, but to start off, I had the worst competition of my life, and that was back in June, where I had been experiencing some back pain, some pain that I've had before, but long story short, I wasn't able to deadlift. I hit my squat opener, back felt kind of iffy, and then I PR'd on my bench actually. Finally broke through that 400-pound barrier in competition. I hit 407, so that was cool, but I ended up bombing out on deadlifts, and that hurt. It hurt quite a bit, and I think for me that was a big turning point. I just figured, like, okay, something has to happen now. Like, I can't keep going like this, especially if I'm just running into the same pain, because I've had this pain before and it's not fun. It feels like a herniated disc and like sciatic pain, that type of thing. So just really not fun. It completely takes me out of squats and deadlifts, any lower body stuff. So I figured it's time to get a coach. So I went with someone who could also give me rehab exercises and who I think is very knowledgeable. So I went with John Song, and I'm very excited to be working with him because this is my first time actually having a coach too, and actually receiving proper like powerlifting programming. Because for those of you who don't know, the way I had trained for years was just basically running the same program, doing the same sets and reps for years, maybe changing out the accessories and then just slowly like tapering the reps down and pushing the intensity, just trying to progressive overload every day. And eventually, like, I had to change up my split to the point where I would be on 2 days, off 1 day, and I would just repeat that. And that was just so that my body could recover. So my recovery really wasn't good at all. You know, I was trying to PR every time I went into the gym, and there's only so much that you can do with that style of training. Honestly, I don't know like powerlifting programming, so I got someone who does, right? And I trust him, and I know that he knows his stuff, right? But I think it also goes to show how far you can go just managing the basics, because that's what I did for so many years. Manage my food, my sleep. You know, I have a CPAP. I made sure, like, people would always say that I snored crazy loud, right? So I made sure to go get a sleep test, see what my sleep was like, and sure enough, I have sleep apnea, right? So I got that taken care of. I've been on my diet for so long. The people who know me, they know how crazy I am with food. There's basically no days that I don't hit my protein goals. And then, you know, just pushing it in the gym, like, I think the sports background definitely helped with that, but bringing the intensity and knowing like how far you really can push yourself, I think goes a long way. So for those of you out there, like, you don't need a powerlifting coach, especially if you're starting out, right? I think getting the basic variables down and the very easily controllable stuff will take you a very long way. Granted, I do think that I have good genetics, right, to be able to go that far, but I still do think those variables are going to be 90% of what you need most of the time, right? So to continue with that, I haven't really bulked that much. with the injuries that I had, it would have been ultra depressing if I was like fat and injured. So I kind of just stopped increasing the calorie intake, and I've kind of been maintaining the same weight. I wake up anywhere from like 212 to 215 still. So I'm technically in the 105 class right now, but I could really go either way. Still kind of trying to figure that out. But exciting stuff. In November, I'll actually be competing in the Hands Across the Sea military powerlifting event, and that will be like the 21st through the 23rd of November. So I'm pretty excited to see what I can bring to the platform, especially now working with a coach. I'm very excited. I think it sparked like a good amount of excitement in me or inspiration to record again. Lifting is starting to feel like really fun again. Just like not having the pressure of, okay, I have to PR this lift. Like, this is what I hit last time. I'm going to try to go even higher than that. Like, that pressure not being there is pretty refreshing. And it just, everything kind of feels new, but I like it. But that's going to be it for today. That's the end of my yap sesh. But hopefully there will be more videos to come in the future. I'm getting back on top of it now that I feel like lifting is kind of more fun again. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.